Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FSL Singapore Malaysia Mobile Legends 2020 qualifiers. Well, that's quite a mouthful. But once again, I am your caster for today, Aris. Hope you guys didn't miss out on the first match of the day that we had, or evening that we had, because that was pretty interesting. It was actually between Team Tim and the MYs. And for Team Tim, they managed to complete their 2-0. They will be up against Bidadari Esports next, but that's not the game that we're going to be streaming. This is the big match that I'm going to be talking about right now. It's going to be Lilith up against Alphette Gaming. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And I'm looking at the draft right now, or rather I'm looking at their heroes right now, and this is pretty interesting because we do see quite a bit of names right here. So I go through the names, which hopefully I don't slaughter the names right there. I'm going to be absolutely crush over this. In Lilith, we have Faizani, we have Kara, Sharif, Mama Jess, sorry about that, as well as Sohai, and as well, whereas on the side of Alphette Gaming, we have Hello Daphne, we've got Kimiko, Shah, May, as well as Mama Grey. I think the players are pretty much ready, so we can pretty much begin anytime on my end. But just to go through a little bit, for those who have not caught up with MLBB, there has been quite a few changes. Obviously, Atlas being the newest hero to come into the game. But like I said, we'll not be seeing Atlas because it's a new hero. So we gotta wait for 2 weeks before we allow Atlas into the draft. And coincidentally, tomorrow will be the date that will be 2 weeks from his release. So hopefully we'll be able to see Atlas tomorrow. With that being said, I think our draft is already about to begin, so let's just jump straight into it. So there we go on your screen right now. We've got Lilith on the blue side, and for Alphette Gaming we have them on the red end. And looks like we're gonna see a Grok ban as well as a carry ban on the side of Lilith. Whereas on Alphette Gaming, they will take out the Savannah and the Claude. So similar to what we saw coming into the game between Tim as well as the MYAs, we do see the carry getting banned out. I mean, carry is one of the most stable. Like I said, for the same thing for Granger, I think both the carry as well as the Grok are one of the most stable heroes. I mean, carry, she scales very well into the late game. She's a hero which you absolutely do not want to face, especially at the earlier start, because she has a bit of a dash, right? And with the spinning cross wheel, or rather leg wheel, she's not exactly the easiest to caught as well, because you have to go through that. That's a slow on it. She's able to keep a distance away from you. She has a tank straddle. She farms quite decently in the jungle. She has so much burst damage towards the end, especially if you go for different builds available to her. I mean, she's one of the most flexible heroes in terms of build. I've seen heroes that go for Demon Hunter Sword, as well as the Golden Staff, and then there's also people that decide to go for really low cooldown builds. So she's one of those heroes that's super flexible, and really, it really depends on how you decide to play her. That's how you really decide to build, go on either builds. But looks like for now, we've got the Valor, so I'm really excited. I mean, I've been playing Valor for quite a bit. I'm addicted to playing Valor, in fact, because of I mentioned about his stun, as well as the flames that he can actually put out because of his passive. When he gets the 3 stack on the opponents, for every skill that you land on your opponents, you get a stun, which is always nice to have. He's got a high amount of burst towards the late game, or even from the start of the game. You add a flame shot to that, and he's just pretty much unstoppable, because flame shot actually scales with magical damage, or your magical base damage. So it does put quite a bit of a extra punch to it, if you think about that. Alphette Gaming is going to pick up the Digger as well as the Jawhead. They managed to pick up the Bruno as well. While on the Lilith side, they pick up the Ling, the Kufra. So pretty even trades, I would say. Alphette Gaming going for very utility heroes, I would say, with the jaw hit. You know, they've got the toss, and then with the diggy, you've got reverse time, as well as time's journey. So those two are really good kits to have. Whereas, you know, Bruno is just being Bruno, right? You have a lot of damage in Bruno, a lot of burst damage, a lot of burst straight away from the start of the game because of his crit, because of the mecha leads. So for those who don't know how Bruno's kit really work, you know, you get for every skill that you do damage on the opponent, your crit chance increase by 4%. It stacks up to 5 times, so you get like 20% maximum for his crit chance, which is pretty much, you know, combined with a lot of items that you can get. You know, it's pretty much almost every single time. And then you add with the fact that he has, you know, volley shot. You got a ton amount of damage because of the 105% total physical attack that you have stacked on. And then you also get the flying tackle, which is a really good kit to have. It's kind of like a gap closer. You can also use it to escape. But, you know, enough about Bruno. Let's take a look at the rest of Juff. So we've got okay, so we've got Luno is getting picked up as the last pick for the side of Alphette Gaming. They pick up the Baxia as well, which does really well against Lilith's draft because, you know, it does provide a little bit of I would say sustain, as well as in a sense a bit of a kit that can allow him to put a front line, and that's gonna suck up a lot of damage that's output by both the Roger as well as the Tamus, who both will be going physical damage.
Welcome to Mobile Legends. 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them. All troops deployed.
So here we go. Game 1 to Lilith and Alphette. I really hope I'm saying the name right. I absolutely do not want to slaughter the name. Mama Grey is going to be playing onto the Lunox alongside Kimiko. Well, Mama Jess and Shao is going to be picking up that blue buff of theirs. We do see a little bit of that team grouping up. Maybe try to get the gank onto the Tamus. I think if, you know, the Digi was level 2 right there, that would have been a really good situation for them to actually go with Tamus, because they've got the reverse time. They can actually, you know, get the gang onto the Tamus itself. Man, it's gonna be just clearing up onto the top side. And interestingly enough, we're seeing a lot of Roger picks, which is pretty, I gotta say, off meta, because we haven't really seen Roger come back into the meta for quite some time now. I mean, if you think about it, Roger is one of those heroes where, if you compare to Bruno, it's a bit different. You know, he's super late game, right? He's one of those heroes that early game doesn't really do much, but if you allow him to farm into late game, then he does quite a bit of damage, especially with his kit. You know, he's got the Wolf transformation. You know, he can go into open fire as well as the Hunter Step. But right now we're gonna see a first blood coming right through. They managed to get a double kill, which is a bit of a misplay, I would say, especially from Lilith. I didn't expect them to overstep their boundaries a little bit too much. They got caught up by the Baxia. And look at that, you know, they got 2 flame shots on both the Digi as well as the Baxia. So that does help with that early game burst damage in ganks. Interesting choice of boots on Hella Deathly, who's playing the Digi. So she's going for the cooldown reduction boot. Jawhead try to go for the flash jump, but not being able to land onto the Roger right there. Kara's going to be jumping down onto mid with the rest of Alphette to put a bit of pressure on mid lane. While Mama is just going to be doing what a top laner should be doing, just going to push down that lane. Mama Grey going to be able to steal that magic buff away, and now they've got the Kufa surrounded. And that's gonna be the ultimate coming from the Bruno as well. They pick up the kill onto the crew. They might be able to pick up onto Ling, and yes, it does. Mei with the shot. And they're gonna sacrifice that top tower to Mama Jess, but in return they get 2 kills as well as the turtle. And that's gonna allow them to scale really well into the game. Shard does pick up the bomb turret at the same time. So 3 minutes in, 3 minutes 30 seconds in, and we are seeing Alphette Gaming pull away by a 2k goal lead. Very objective gaming coming up from Alphette Gaming. I really do like this. Mama Grey gonna be completing her tier 3 magic item as well. Shah already looking for someone to jump right onto area so high, gets bursted out instantly. Lunox, especially with those darkness shots coming in, and it's gonna hurt quite a bit. Roger has to be a little bit careful about the positioning. Make sure it doesn't get caught out of position. Again, coming in, those chaos assault shots do hurt. Definitely do not want to be at the end of those chaos blows. Well, we do see Ling rotating quite a bit. We haven't seen Shavif do much yet. And that's just because of the rotation coming up from Alphette Gaming. They're just making sure that there is no space whatsoever for the side of Lilith to farm. Area so high on the Kufra, who's already died 3 times. So you can see a lot of emphasis being placed on the side of Alphette Gaming to just take out who's right in front. Oh my god, that jump though. But now Shard's gonna be tossing Mama Jess away, and that's the good thing about having a Jawhead, right? You do get quite a bit of a gank. Shard is nearly, she's just got out just by a slit of health. And I was talking about Jawhead before I got interrupted. So the Jawhead is just a really good hero, right? You got toss, you can just jump right in, you got a lock on to the backline, which is so good to have. Given that nowadays a lot of these heroes have a lot of escape abilities as well as the Ling. You know, look at the Ling, look at the Roger, they have a bit of those mini gap closers that can allow them to dash out. If you got a Jawhead, you can toss them to your teammates. Justice Blade gonna be able gonna come up for Shah. So more cooldown reduction for the Jawhead, as well as true damage after every skill. Alphette Gaming trying to buy some space onto the bot lane. They do send the Jawhead to the top. They see 2 members, and now that's the green light for them to actually get the gank in. Will they soak the damage on this one? They might not have to, but Lunox is able to burst the Tamus down. Diggy soaking a bit of damage on the top side. They will trade towers though, I presume. And no, they don't. They actually, yep, they do. Alright, so they're gonna get the Bruno to finish up the top, the bomb turret. While the side of Lilith, they do manage to secure the tier 2 onto the top lane. So not much of a loss there. Both sides just trading the opposite ends. So Alphette Gaming, it's really important for them to step up the pressure. They try to go for the blue buff right there. They do not manage to do it, but they might be able to get the Ling. Now they turn the attention back onto area so high. As long as they can get the Krufa out of the way, they know that Lilith do not have a front line. It's a really greedy draft coming in from Lilith if you think about it, because they've only got 1 Thomas the front line, and look at that, they just go onto the back. And that chaos is not just too much for any of the members of Lilith to handle, and instantly Mama just gets blown up. No chance for any lifesteal whatsoever. And now you've got Sharif, who's just alone. Area so high, tries to jump right in, but Bruno is just gonna volley her backwards. And Shah is doing a good job at cutting the lanes, putting pressure onto whoever's who's trying to defend this top side. And now the turtle, it's up right on time, 8 minutes in. And I'm pretty sure Alpha Gaming is going to be able to secure that without much contest from Lilith. And that 2k goal lead has grown into a 8k goal lead now, 8 minutes and 30 seconds in. And that's just gonna scale so much more at a faster pace. With Alpha Gaming just making sure that they have control in the majority of this map, Sharif is able to secure that first major item for herself. Looking at the goal lead, look at that. Alpha Gaming just being so dominant throughout the first 10 minutes of this game. Nothing out of the ordinary. It looks like Roger's trying to go into Dimmer Hunter Sword, which does cost quite a bit into early game. Ling being forced to use the ultimate right there, goes right back in. They might be able to find the Jawhead. Krufa with the magic ball, but can't catch up to Shah, who's drawing them so far away from bottom side. And I'm surprised that Alpha Gaming didn't, they could have just made use of the time to actually go for the top lane. And they could have gotten that tier 3 tower. Maybe we got a kill onto the Tamus. So a rare mistake coming from Alpha Gaming. Blade armor coming in for the Baxia, which is going to allow Kimiko to soak up even more damage coming out from both the Roger as well as the Tamus. Pretty sure Tamus is going for the Queen's Wings right now. He's got both the base items up.
Launch attack. Lord resurrecting soon.
They are looking for a gang right now, and they might be able to find Tamus, who's just sticking so close to that tier 3 tower. And she's, good map awareness coming from Mama Jess, but there really isn't much for Alpha Gaming to do other than wait for Lord come up. And speak of the devil, Lord will come up right now. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a contest coming from Lilith, but they're making, most out of the situation right now. They might be able to pick up the Jawhead. Good dash coming in from Fazaini. Not sure if they do manage to catch the Ling out. Yes, they do. The stun coming in. Mama Grey with the Chaos Assault. They will get it alongside with Hello Defin using the time reversal to catch him back into place. So 25 seconds without the Ling. But they do buy enough time to burn the Lord down. That's going to be wasted. We haven't seen much from Kara as well. I said that about Ling in the early game. Now we need Kara to step up to the plate. If she can find a good engagement, or rather she can, wait for the Krufa to jump in, she can actually buy this game back. I think a Valor, even without items, is still very valuable in terms of an asset to the team because of his kit. You got the Pale Flames. And now Krufa jumping right in. Time's Journey being activated right now. Get them out of position. They blow up both the Tamus as well as the Krufa. And look at that, Bruno with the crit will blow Kara up. And now they might get game 1 as well. Sharif trying her best to delay the time taken for Alpha Gaming, but they've got eyes on the throne right there. No mistakes coming up. And that's going to be them picking up game 1. Itemizations wise, both sides are pretty straightforward. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. We do see Mama Grey going for that early game build. You go for the Lightning Wand, and then after you build into the concentrated energy for lifesteal, she's completed her level 3 magical jungle item, and then she's going for the magic glyph as well. So you can see, there's no point building any cooldown reduction item because of Lunok's passive. cooldown items just do not work on Lunox because of how a passive works. So please, please, please do not build any cooldown items. There's no point in it. I see a lot of players going for, you know, cooldown boots, which doesn't work on Lunox. So no complaints from itemizations on Lunox. The rest of the heroes are pretty straightforward. Athena shield on Kimiko, as well as the blade armor. She's even managed to pick up the immortality. So in terms of rotation, I think I haven't seen any mistake from Alphette Gaming. If you go with the Lilith side, it's just a case of them not being able to really build into that late game. I mean, Kara decided to go for fleeting time instead of the glowing one first, which in my opinion, she could have just gone for glowing one. Glowing one is just too good of an item to give up on any mage right now. So even if you're playing Diggy, in my opinion, you can actually just go for it. Maybe not Diggy, alright? Maybe I'm just overstepping. I'm just exaggerating by a little bit. But I really do think that glowing one is such a good magical item. You can go on the Valor, you can even go on the Lunox if you want to. I've seen even I don't think Eudora, but I pretty much wouldn't see any Eudora. But I think in terms of mages, glowing one is just too good on any hero to give up, especially on Valor, because of how much damage it does over time. With that being said, congratulations to Alphette Gaming. Pretty straightforward. Other than the rare mistake, I wouldn't say rare mistake, but the catch out that, you know, the side of Lilith did manage to pick up Jawhead twice in the game, one in the bottom lane if I do remember, but they had to go for quite a bit of long chase, which I think it's fine, but Alphette Gaming could have done better there if they took the tier 3 tower, put a little bit of pressure onto the Tamus, which in the end is still played out, right? Because they were definitely in the lead. I mean, what can I complain about? 8 minutes in, 8k gold lead. You know, you're pretty much just waiting for the Lord to come off to go for the end game, and this is what Alphette did. They waited for the right time to end the game right there. With that being said, we'll go for a short break, but when we are back, we will go into game 2 between Lilith as well as Alphette Gaming. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, we are finally back into the game, hopefully. Or rather, back with the FSL Mobile Legends for female players only. We've got the Singapore as well as Malaysia qualifiers. Some of them are there, but without further ado, let's begin game 2 between Lilith as well as Alphette Gaming. We've got game 1 already done, so if you missed that, Alphette Gaming managed to pick up that game pretty convincingly. We've got the draft already going on for the second game, so let's just jump straight into it. So there we go right now. So it looks like we got Alphette Gaming banning out the Guinevere as well as the Sylvana, which is pretty interesting because, you know, they did manage to deal with the Sylvana pretty well. Granted, Sylvana is one of those heroes where she does really well on the off lane. Not too sure how they actually wanted to play in the previous game, but they did play it into the top side, which is not too bad. I mean, she has that lens as well as the CC to actually catch out squishy heroes, but she doesn't really do well against the Buxia as well as Kufra. So she's one of those heroes where she's good against squishy heroes, not that good against, you know, tankers who can actually soak up a lot of basic damage. So it looks like we've got another Kufra as well as a Jawhead combo. And then they pick up a Bucks as well. Really tanky lineup coming up from Alphette Gaming, which is what we pretty much saw coming into game 1. And looks like they are sticking to what works for them. While Lilith, they do pick up the carry as well as the Selena. So carry getting let through, which will get picked up by Lilith, who banned out both the Diggy as well as the Grog.
Your team is banning.
I can't say I'm too surprised by the Lilith getting, or Lilith banning out the Grog. I mean, I spoke about Grog, you know, the power of nature, as well as the rush. But I think what makes Grog really dangerous is the fact that he has that spin, you know, the power of nature, which is quite scary. and then combined with the fact that Wild Charge just puts out so much burst damage. But more importantly, and this is one of the most underrated fact about Grok, is that his passive, Ancestral Gift, gives him immunity to CC, which I mentioned that in the previous game.
Your team is picking.
So, if you face against heroes like Selena, even for Valor, if you face against heroes like Baxia, Jawhead, Kufra, whatever it is, right? Grok is one of those heroes that can frontline really well because he can just soak up any of the CCs being put out if he or she uses, Grok's power of nature at the right time.
Your team is picking.
That being said, they will pick up the Hylos. And they do pick up the Nana as well. We spoke about Selena in the first few games, so Selena does get picked up. And as usual, it looks like they will fall to their comfort pick on Mama Gray's Lunox, who did really well in the first game. Those kills, shots do hurt quite a bit, especially into the late game when she does have her items up. And with concentrated energy like we saw, she's not exactly the easiest to actually take down. That being, I think they do complete their lineup with Granger getting picked up, who should get played by me. So we talked about Granger as well as the burst damage potential available on the draft, and I think in general they just have a really good draft. I mean, it doesn't look, if you compare to the first game, I wouldn't say it's less scary. In fact, it's equally scary. You swap out the Bruno for the Granger, pretty much does the same job with the maybe a slightly different kit, but the concept behind the draft is still the same, right?
Smash them. All troops deployed.
So I've compared the Bruno to the Granger, and I mentioned about how it's pretty much a similar kind of draft, and that's because both heroes do really well in early game. They have kits that allow them to scale really comfortably into the late game. They don't really need too much item to come online. They have decent amount of burst. They are always able to partake in the team fight at any stage. And this matchup, and it doesn't really look like they have anyone on the side of Lilith that can really pose a danger to it. Granted, there is a bit of a CC coming up from the Selena as well as the Nana, and yes, there is also you think about it, the Leomord that has the stun if he does summon the Steed. But that being said, it's still so hard to catch out both the Lunox and the Granger because of the Kufra and the Baxia, who's just so tanky as lineups. And now we've got the Kufra trying to jump in to Tyrant's Madness, not being able to jump on it. And they do manage to stun them up again, taking a lot of shots. However, Duffin does burn the Flash to get out of the way. And meanwhile, you got the jaw hit, not being able to defend the top lane tower. So like I said, Lilith definitely doing a lot better in this game. Carry able to rotate earlier with the help of the Nana. Meanwhile, we do see Alphette Gaming still putting a lot of prioritization onto the bot lane, trying to secure that tier 1 tower. They do manage to do so.
Initiate retreat.
While Shah's gonna be rotating down into the middle to help her fellow tank. Mama just pushing down the top side with the Leomord.
First blood.
And that's still gonna be the first blood coming in. Kara does get picked up. So Alphette Gaming definitely a lot slower pace in this game, but they still get the first blood, and they also get the bottom turret. So looks like the persistence their persistence has paid off. Total up for grabs right now, so you can see a lot of this, in fact majority of the heroes now coming onto the bottom side of the map, while Jawhead's the only hero that's on top side taking up the tier 1 turret. Leomon's gonna trade with it. Mama just gonna secure that tier 1 on the bot lane. So good map awareness for Mama Jess. I mean, she could have been a little bit greedy to pick up the tier 1. I think if she burned her ultimate, she still could have gotten out easily without much harm. But you know, safety first. You know, don't want to give away that important kill as an offlaner. Your role is you basically just don't have to die, right? Just don't die, split push, and you buy your team the space needed for the MM to farm, and still put the pressure onto the opposite end of the map. That's what your role as an offlaner is to do, right? You're pretty much alone in the majority of the game. You just gotta do what an offlaner is gotta do. We do see a little bit of a dive coming in for the crew front, not being able to land to anyone. Itemizations wise, 4 minutes in, you know, most of the tier 1 boats have already been completed. They're already starting to build into the first item. Although we do see Mama Jess getting caught up in a bad spot. Good rotation from Alphette Gaming to rotate the bot lane. Nana's ulti will not land on anyone, and they also managed to get the kill on the shard. So both teams are pretty much mirroring each other's rotation right now, which isn't a surprise. I mean, 4 minutes and 50 seconds and it is still Alphette Gaming with a slight 500 gold lead, pretty much negligible at this point. But next turtle fight is gonna dictate who's gonna be in the lead in terms of momentum. Right now it's pretty balanced out. Lesser flame shots as compared to the previous game. We do see Krufra with a flash. It looks like they've gotten the stun right onto the Nana. I mean, she's got the Molina's gift. She should be able to run right out there. Glorious pathway to help her run out of it as well. They do manage to get the Krufra, but that's going to be a high loss, paying her life for a Chaos. A shot after Chaos, a shot comes in. They get one onto the carry, and they try to get another one onto Era so high. She does manage to get out, like I said. And because of the pressure coming from Mama Jess, they will have to back off and defend that top side. Meanwhile, Shah gonna be a pain in Lilith's neck just to push out the bottom wave. Bloodlust X does come up for Mama Jess, and that will definitely help with her quest to push that top side. Shah with now a little bit of a threat. Do see Shah going in for the lock on, but she does recognize the fact that Hylos as well as Nana are nearby. We'll have to back off for that. And there's going to be a slight trade in objectives right here. Lilith going to be prioritizing that turtle. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the map, we do see Alphette Gaming secure that top lane. Jawhead now being chased, but Shah does a good job at juking her way out of this. Mama Jess does have the steed. If she wants to survive, I'm sure she will have to use it right now. Haladefin with the ultimate Timer's Madness just to secure that kill. And I'm not sure why Mama Jess could have used the ultimate right there just to get out, but I guess she got a little bit greedy, used the flash instead. But still does get cut out by the rest of Alphette Gaming. Now with the gang, I'm pretty sure they will secure the bot lane. If they can find the Selena right here, that will be an important catch up. Chaos Assault, too much for her to deal with. And Kara's just going to be doing her best to slow down the push coming from Alphette Gaming. I mean, they will not be able to get a tier 3 here, but might have spoken too soon. They do want to lay siege to this. Kara taking a lot of shots coming in from the Lunox, and they force their way into a tier 3 turret. Not sure if they do want to stick around a bit too much. Jawhead and Baxia already on the top side. They do not manage to pick up the Nana, but nevertheless, they do chase her away. I like the fact that Mei, who's playing the Granger, has gone for Purify, because that does allow her to get out of trouble really easily. If you think about it, you know, you've got quite a bit of a threat on the end of Lilith that can actually catch her out. You know, you do have the Abyssal Arrow from the Selena, you do have, you know, Nana's second skill, you do have Hylot's first skill as well, so there's a lot of, you know, arsenal that's available in Lilith's, you know, kit to actually catch out the heroes of Alphette Gaming. So a little bit of extra protection by picking up the Purify. Shah's gonna secure that turtle for Alphette Gaming. Meanwhile, we do see the rest of Lilith. They are aware of the jaw hit coming right through. They do toss the highlights. I believe that was meant for area so high. But right now, Tyrant's Revenge just to pull him even further behind. The Glorious Pathway will not save him. But they do manage to pick up the Granger. And now there's going to be trouble for Alphette Gaming. They have to back off right now. Mama Jess tries to back out just out of it. Abyssal Arrow just slightly out of range. So not much of a casualty for both sides other than losing both the Hylos as well as the Granger on both ends. I gotta say, game 2 is definitely way more even compared to game 1. You got a case of slight desperation coming out from Alphette Gaming right now. They're trying to gank onto anyone. They do manage to burn the ultimate from the Hylos. Actually had to use the Glorious Pathway to get out of trouble. I should be up in about 30 seconds, which means it should be available for the next team fight that's happening around the Lord's Pit. Blade of Despair coming up for the jaw hit, so extra damage going in the way of Shah. No surprises in the itemizations right now. But Lunox might be able to find a kill right here. Glorious Pathway once again coming off from Kara, who does chase them away from the Lord's Pit. 4 more seconds before the Lord comes up. I'm pretty sure they will turn their backs right now to try to kick the Lord, or at least try to force Lilith to actually come for the contest for it. Looks like they will push out that middle wave before proceeding with the Lord. Jaw hit still at the top side, which means if Lilith decides to take a fight right now, it's going to be a 5 versus 4. Definitely going to be in their favor. Look at that, Alphette Gaming, they know the jaw hit slightly pushing the top side. They do not have to take the risk. They managed to catch out the Selena once again. No, it's going to be the carry, and that's going to be a huge win for them. They get the high loss at the same time, and now they might even lose the Nana, who's got Melina gift, but I'm sure that's going to be picked up by Mama Grave right there. 3 men down, and Alphette Gaming do not even lose anyone for that. They will get not only 3 kills, on top of it, they will also get the Lord, as well as the blue buff in Lilith's jungle. And that is a huge deciding factor for Alphette Gaming. They managed to get the carry with the help of Hello Defin. Went in the right time, good job onto it. She's done a fantastic job in both games, and now they're looking to end the game right here, right now. They've got Lord down in the middle lane. A huge wave coming in from the bottom side as well. Good job to not push it out. Not sure if they did it intentionally, but they do have a huge wave coming bottom side, but they might not even need it. Lord already down to half health right now, and now look at that. All they have to do is just burn the front line. Mama Jess trying to push them back. They do manage to get the Lord down. They've got 2 huge waves on both ends. Abyssal Arrow gonna be landing onto the Baxia right there, not an issue. She's gonna soak right up. Kimiko's healthy enough to actually do just that, but meanwhile, they just want to burn the Hylos down. But members of Alphette are really low, alive, but really low. I don't think they will be able to take another team fight right here. And rightfully so, they will back off. Alphette Gaming will buy one more team fight. I wouldn't say it's the end right now. Yes, they do lose 2 tier 3 turrets on both the top and the middle lane, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, they still can come back from this. Antique carriers will come out for the Qualifiers, so that's gonna negate even more damage on the side of Lilith Gaming for every, or rather Lilith, every single time they damage him. And now the critical damage on Granger, it's gonna hurt, so they're gonna make sure they take the fight smartly, because they essentially only have one front liner, right? And that's gonna be the Hylos. Whereas if you look over to the side of Alphette Gaming, right, they have Kimiko who's playing the Baxia, they have Alphette who's playing the Daphne who's playing the Kufra, and now you've got the Jawhead's going for the brute force armor, and that's gonna provide even more front line ability for the Jawhead, which means it's gonna be even way harder for Lilith to break that front line down. I think Kufra actually wanted to go for the dive, but will have to back out. Mama Jess has to be careful about the positioning, tries to go for the poke, does summon the steam, but look at that, look at Mama Grey just pop off those shots, and that's gonna burn them down. They do manage to secure the kill onto the Hylos. They're lacking that front liner, and Mage is going to town. They will pick up the Kruva with the help of the Abyssal Arrow. They might get the Jawhead as well, has the immortality. Mama Grey will pick up Mama Jess, but it is a trade 1-for-1. And I feel like Lilith is doing an exceptional job at not only defending, but this is partially due to the fact that you see a case of Alphette Gaming trying to end the game right here, right? They're not, I wouldn't say they're desperate, but I feel like they're trying to end the game a little bit too early, right? Go for the bottom lane. You've done a tremendous job of pushing the top and middle side, so I feel like they can play a bit more patient, you know, try to get that bomb turret. When you get, you know, super minions on all 3 lanes, then you can look for a misplay coming up from Alphette Gaming, or rather of Lilith, because Alphette Gaming right now, they're definitely still in the lead, right? You got 10k goal lead, but at this point in time, the goal lead doesn't really count, because you've got both teams already pretty much going for the in-game items. If you look at Lilith, even though they are on the back foot, they don't really lack items. They can definitely stand their ground, especially with the help of those turret shots coming in. So the only thing they can do right now is to just hopefully pull Lilith out of the base. So they will try to scout people out with the Abyssal Arrow and those traps. Meanwhile, Mama Grey is gonna be pushing out that bottom lane. Blood Rain's coming off the Nana, so that's a really late game item. That's pretty much the last item that usually mages go for. I think she's trying to build into her immortality as well. Alphette Gaming just gonna wait for the lot to push right in. And I like the fact that, you know, Mama Gray's choice of item is to build onto the Holy Crystal, because instead of going for Blood Wings, you know, you increase your magical damage by percentage. And now look at that, Qualifier will go in. It's a huge ultimate coming in. He catches 3 members out, and that's gonna set up the fight for the rest of Alphette Gaming. They burn away both the High Lords, and they get the Lord coming in. They will end the game right here. I mean, what a play that was coming from Qualifier.
Victory!
And with that, it's pretty much going to be a 2-0 coming in from Alphette Gaming. I mean, I know I slaughter the... I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced. Hello, Daphne? I think that's how you pronounce it. But that was just an instant play right there, right? Going in onto the back line, diving in just like that, catching them out in the bad spot, flashing in, and then just catching 3 members out, you know, laying the foundation for that team fight. And with that, it just gives them the position that they need, especially for Mama Gray and May, to actually do the damage. Because, you know, most of the time you do see the Hylos in front just soaking a lot of the damage, not allowing, you know, Alphette Gaming to end the game right there. But with the fight, because the Qualifier did manage to get 3 members out, you know, Mama Gray and May are able to, you know, kill whoever's out of position. You can see them scrambling to decide between, you know, backing off in the tower or, you know, taking the fight right there, and they chose to fight right there, which I wouldn't say it's a bad choice, but at that point, I think Alphette Gaming, you know, those split seconds where they were stunned up by the Qualifier's ultimate were more than enough for Alphette Gaming to blow anyone up. And in that case, you know, once Kara went down, you know, without the High Lords, they don't really have a front line like I mentioned. You know, Mama Jazz is the only other hero which can take any sort of damage, and, you know, Leomon isn't really the tankiest hero to begin with. And with that, you know, Alphette Gaming, all they had to do was just end the game right there, especially with the Lord's help. It was just pretty much easy for them. With that being said, congratulations to Alphette. They will pick up their game 2, making it a 2-0, and, you know, allowing them to go into the next game, which I believe will be the semi-finals. So you've already got our first semi-finalist of this competition, which is Alphette Gaming. Unfortunately for Lilith, their journey will end right here. Remember, we will be streaming 2 games tomorrow. The first semi-finals, which will be the winners between Bidadari Esport as well as Team, and the winner of Dreams and Potato. So those 2 winners, those 4 teams, when they face off, will take the 2 winners, and then that will be our first semi-finals. And for the second semi-finals in the lower half of the table, I wouldn't say lower half of the table, but the other half of the table, we will see Asterix face against the winners of Raid 7's Bam and Red Roses, which I think has already concluded. Yep, Raid 7 did manage to pick up the win over Red Roses. So we will see Red Roses against Asterix, and the winner of that will face against Alphette Gaming. So I'm pretty excited to see where that will take us. Remember, we'll be streaming tomorrow as well. It's gonna be 8 p.m. SGT if you're in Southeast Asia, so remember to catch that up. With that being said, once again, a big shout out to our official partners, Dreamcore, Super Solid, as well as Yahoo for supporting stream. Remember, this has been organized by FSL. If you're interested to find out more about the Female Esports League as well as the other games that will be happening throughout the year, remember, it's going to be year-long circuit, you can head on down to FSL on Facebook as well as our social media platform to find out more. My name has been Aris. I've been absolutely excited for the games today. I mean, Alphette Gaming and Team both put on the show, and, you know, at the cost of their opponents, they go through the next round. Remember, I'll see you tomorrow.